Remember when I said, at least in a way, that Lady and the Tramp was a Disney movie I had little history with? Well, Sleeping Beauty is the exact opposite. Sleeping Beauty was released in 1959 and was based off of both versions from Charles Perrault and the Brothers Grimm. It would be their last princess movie until The Little Mermaid, which was released 30 years later. It wasn't a box office success at the time, but years later after Disney launched their princess line, Sleeping Beauty became a success and according to Wikipedia, is known as a sleeper hit. What a title. This movie, which was one of our first DVDs ever, was my childhood, and my sisters and I watched it all the time, but the disc recently got busted a few months ago and we replaced it with 2 copies. I don't know, it felt really appropriate to get another special edition, even though Prince Philip looks like Robert Pattinson on the box.
I like watching you sleep. It's kind of fascinating to me.
The reason why we got it was because, well, it has sentimental value. My sisters and I played that Rescue Aurora game all the time and always attempted to make the dragon using that crafting tutorial. And yes, I popped in disc 2 out of curiosity before recording this, and this is what I have to say. Rescue Aurora adventure game had crappier quality than what I remembered. The way these fingers in this art tutorial makes me uncomfortable, and before you ask, yes, I did that princess quiz thing just to be funny and I got Belle. So, yeah. The movie starts off with a book opening that we hadn't gotten since Cinderella. The narrator tells us about the nameless kingdom and the princess who you all probably thought was named Sleeping Beauty. Hang on. Isn't that the same tapestry used for the Gryffindor common room? Wait, I'm sorry, let's just move on. So, the king and queen are hosting a christening, and they invite the entire kingdom except for the only green person in the land. Maleficent is voiced by Eleanor Audley, and because she was singled out while the town nerds got invited, she places a curse on Princess Aurora. If she touches the spindle of a spinning wheel, she'll die, and the curse's expiration date is her 16th birthday. But fortunately, Merryweather, Barbara Luddy, uses a spell that doesn't remove the curse, but makes it that true love's kiss is what expires it sooner. You better hope she doesn't get pricked when she's 7, because boys at that age are very sensitive towards cooties. Fairies, Merryweather, Flora, voiced by Verna Felton, and Fauna, voiced by Barbara Jo Allen, come up with a plan to dress up as peasants and raise Aurora in the Muggle world, where Miss Voldemort couldn't harm her. 16 years later, Aurora's all grown up and Maleficent is pissed because 16 years of searching were wasted because these pig things forgot that people age. Poor Maleficent. The 3 fairies, meanwhile, are planning a party for Aurora's 16th birthday, who's voiced by Mary Costa. They push her out of the house and she meets a random pretty boy she doesn't know. Meanwhile, the cake and dress is going horribly wrong.
It looks awful. That's because it's on you, dear.
They then have magical warfare which catches Maleficent's crow's attention. After Aurora comes home, announcing that she's fallen in love to a guy who's completely lying to her that they met before, the fairies forbid her to see him and break the news that she's a princess. Meanwhile, Philip, Bill Shirley, announces to his father that he's fallen in love with a peasant and takes off to visit her. Aurora and the fairies arrive at the castle, but Maleficent puts the Imperious Curse on her and gets her to touch the spindle of a spinning wheel. Philip gets abducted by Maleficent and the fairies help break him out. The crow gets killed and Maleficent turns into a dragon to stop Philip.
Swift and sure, that evil die and good endure.
Nice aim.
Philip reaches the tower and kisses Aurora, breaking her curse. 5 more minutes. The kingdom then celebrates, and Flora and Merryweather have another magical warfare. The end. So let's talk about the movie. I'm gonna be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish, and I can't remember if I felt the same with any of the other movies I've reviewed so far. This even includes the weakest part of the movie, which is Stefan and Hubert picking through food and chugging wine. And what saves it is the dialogue exchanges, the Scrump song being kind of good, and the chemistry these two have. They generally feel like longtime friends, sort of like Harry and Ron or Jack and Legoshi. Something that's easy to notice is that despite this being Aurora's story, the movie's attention focuses on their side characters more, which is Maleficent and the 3 fairies. Aurora only has 18 minutes of screen time, which kind of messed up her chance to have a character, or at least something to make her stand out from the other princesses. Was that the gift Merryweather was going to give Aurora before Maleficent came in? A personality? Philip and Aurora have to be the most plain Disney couple so far, but not the worst, mind you. They're still enjoyable even though their interactions with each other is very small, and they don't talk that much. How many lines does Philip have? And look at him swing the sword. Why does that remind me of Link? That's pretty much my biggest nitpicks regarding this movie, and with that aside, this movie is f***ing great! The three fairies are the best trio Disney has ever come up with, and they're just so fun to watch when on screen. You can even tell that the story writers enjoyed them more than the main character. They pretty much do anything and everything that keeps the movie going, while giving us several hilarious moments, quotable dialogue, and character. And Maleficent, holy shit! I forgot how great she is. She is honestly the biggest highlight of the film, because everything is great about her. The smooth animation, the intimidation from her appearance and actions, and Eleanor Audley, best voice actress in that Disney era.
Now shall you deal with me and all the powers of hell!
The artwork is criminally underrated, and its theme and style is so gorgeous. From the outfits to the objects and architecture, Sleeping Beauty has to be the most medieval-looking Disney film, and it's kind of interesting to see. I don't even think Sword in the Stone gets this medieval, even though these two films take place in the same time era. You can barely notice the reused audio or visual scenes in the movie, like Aurora crying, which was audio from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and the scream during Maleficent's death. And speaking of which, let's talk about my favorite scene, the climax. Everything about it is just satisfying and paced out just right, all the way from Philip's escaping his cell to the kiss he and Aurora have. Seriously, I could watch it over and over again. I love the incantation Maleficent says, I absolutely love the score, the intensity has my heart racing, and I even love it when Maleficent turns into a flying cookie with sprinkles. And then it leads to that epic fucking battle. Maleficent is absolutely determined as a dragon, and you can see and feel her desperation to win. She literally does everything to make it impossible for Philip, and when she dies, you can't help but feel satisfaction as your heartbeat slowly returns to normal before it ends with Aurora waking up. Jafar's defeat kind of goes towards that same direction, except you're still at the edge of your seat because his defeat happened so fast. One thing I have to mention before we get to the songs isn't a negative, it's just, once you notice it, it kind of changes everything regarding the story. What's it called? Oh yeah, a plot hole. As Fauna said, their magic is only used for happiness.
Our magic doesn't work that way. It can only do good, dear, to bring joy and happiness. Well, that would make me happy.
So how is Merryweather able to turn the crow into stone? How are the fairies able to give Philip a sword? A weapon that's purpose is to harm someone. So why couldn't they just kill Maleficent themselves? Anywho, each of the songs in this movie are spectacular, and we haven't gotten this much good songs since Cinderella. As always, I'll be ranking them from least favorite to best. In 7th and last place, Scrumps. It's a song that kind of came out of nowhere, but it's actually pretty good and it really gave me medieval vibes. 6th place, Hail Princess Aurora. The song always got stuck in my head because its chorus always gave me chills. A great intro song. 5th place, Once Upon a Dream, the opening. It's a little fast, and I can honestly say that the one during the movie is better. Props to the chorus though. 4th place, I Wonder. Mary Costa has such a beautiful voice, and I love the music and escalation towards the end when the animals spot Philip's cloak. 3rd place, Sleeping Beauty. It's a great reprise to a beautiful song. Definitely gets the bronze trophy. 2nd place, Once Upon a Dream. It deserves all the praise it gets, and it's one of my favorite Disney princess songs. Of course, it'll never be I'll Make a Man of You, but it's great anyways. Wait, why is it in 2nd place? 1st place, One Gift. I honestly forgot this was a song, and I'm a little embarrassed over that, cause unlike Dumbo's We're Gonna Get More Money, this song is so freaking good. It's angelic and beautiful, and that ending with Merryweather. How should I put it?
I was weeping on the inside.
So that was my Sleeping Beauty review. It's better than what I remembered, and while it may not stick well with the Elsa fans, who worship a character with a lesser personality than Aurora, I'll always have it a place in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, I give the 1959 Sleeping Beauty movie a solid 9 out of 10. If Aurora and Philip had more of a character and some more time together instead of Philip using her delusions from a dream to his vantage, then I give it a 10 out of 10. And before we get to these 3 movies, and then move on to the next Disney era, let's dive straight into Pixar's The Incredibles. It's going to be difficult to review, but I look forward to it nonetheless.
We are not gonna die!
Enough, Reggie.